Hello. Today we are going to solve week 7 practice assignment. So let's move to the questions. First question. Let A and B be the two events of a random experiment. Probability that at least one of the two events A and B will occur is 0.6. That is, probability that either A occurs or B occurs or both occurs is given as 0.6, which is written as A union B. That is, probability of A union B means that probability that either A occurs or B occurs or both occurs is given as 0.6. And probabilities of event A occurring and B occurring is given as 0.3 and 0.4 respectively. That is, probability of A occurring is given as 0.3 and probability of B occurring is given as 0.4. Now the question is, find the probability that event A will occur given that the event B has already occurred. That is, it is conditional on B. So we are to find value of P A given B, that is, if event B has already occurred, then what is the probability that A will occur? And by the conditional formula, we know that P A given B is written as P A intersection B upon probability of B. Now we have the value of P A union B of P of A and P of B. Now we have to find the value of P of A intersection B. For that we use the additional rule. And what the additional rule is, additional rule says that A probability of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. From here, probability of A intersection B will be P of A plus P of B minus P of A union B. So P of A is 0.3, P of B is 0.4 and P of A union B is 0.6. Hence probability of A intersection B will be 0.1. By putting the values here, P of A intersection B will be 0.1 and probability of B is given at 0.4. This is 1 by 4. So probability of A given B will be 1 by 4. Right answer is 1 by 4. Next question. Question number 2. A random sample of 500 people are classified by gender and their level of education, and data is given in table 7.1.c. Here 500 people are classified by their level of education, that is elementary, secondary and college level of education, and their gender, that is male or female. Now if a person is picked at random from this group, find the probability that the person is a male given that the person has a secondary level of education. That is, we are already known that the person who has picked has secondary level of education. So here our sample space will be secondary level of education. So our sample will be secondary level of education, because it is already known that the picked person has secondary level of education. Now it is asked that what is the probability that the person picked is a male. So we have to calculate the probability of that person is a male given that he has secondary level of education. This is a conditional probability, and by the formula we know that this is equal to probability that the person has secondary level of education and is a male divided by, so this is the intersection of person is a male and has a secondary level of education divided by the probability that person has a secondary level of education. So value of probability that person is a male and has secondary level of education is the person. So probability that person is a male and has secondary level of education equal to number of person who are male and has secondary level of education, that is 70% are there who has secondary level of education and are male. 7 upon total number of people will be 500. This is the probability of P M intersection S, and divided by the person has secondary level of education. So how many persons are there who has secondary level of education? 70 plus 105, that is 175 people are there who has secondary level of education. So probability will be 175 upon total person, that will be 500. So probability M upon has secondary level of education will be 70 by 175, which is equal to 0.4. This is our answer. Next question, question number 3. Among the customers who buy Samsung mobile phones at a particular shop, 40% also buy back cover for that phone. So let me define two events as A I am defining as the customer buys Samsung mobile phone, and I am defining B as he buys back cover for that phone. So what is given to us? It is saying that the customers who buy Samsung mobile phones, 40% also buy back cover for that. That is the probability that person will buy back cover for it, given that he has already bought the Samsung mobile phone, is given as 0.4, that is 40%. So the probability of B given A is given as 0.4. Also, suppose that 60% of the customers who visit the shop buy Samsung mobile phone. So probability of A is given as probability of A, that is the probability that customer will buy Samsung mobile phone, is given as 60%, which is 0.6. Now the question is, what is the probability that a customer at the shop purchase both Samsung mobile phone and the back cover for it? That is, we have to find the probability of A intersection B. That is, the person buys both Samsung mobile phone and back cover for it. We have to find the value of it. So we know that probability of B given A by the formula is equal to probability of B intersection A, and B intersection A is same as A intersection B upon probability of A. From here, probability of A intersection B will be equal to probability of B given A into probability of A. By putting the values, P of B given A is given as 0.4 and probability of A is given as 0.6, which is equal to 0.24. That is 20% customers buy both Samsung mobile phone and back cover for it. That is your answer. Next question, question number 4. Jasmine has 2 coins, out of which one is fair coin and other results in tail with probability 0.6. She picks a coin randomly. That means probability of picking a coin is 0.6. She can pick any of the coin, fair coin or bias coin, which has probability of 0.6 of coming tail, and tosses it and it shows head. What is the probability that she picks the fair coin? So let me define two events A and B such that A I am defining as she picks fair coin. She picks fair coin. And let me define B as she picks biased coin, which has probability of 0.6 of tail. She picks biased coin. And another events, let me define as H as tossed coin shows head. So she picks a coin randomly and tosses it, and the tossed coin shows head. So what is the probability that she picks the fair coin? So we are asked the value of probability of A given as, that is, so toss coin shows heads, then what is the probability that it is a fair coin? That we have to calculate. And what the information is given to us, one coin is fair coin and the other has probability of 0.6 of coming tail. That is, if we choose fair coin, then probability of H given A will be, if we choose fair coin, A is the event of picking fair coin. So if she choose fair coin and tosses it, then the probability that it will shows head will be 0.6 because the coin is head. And if she chooses biased coin, then what is the probability that it will shows head will be equal to 0.4 because the biased coin has probability of 0.6 of showing tail. Hence probability of H given A is given as 0.5 and probability of H given B is given as 0.4. Again, she chooses a coin randomly, that is probability of picking a coin is 0.5. That is, if probability of A, which means that probability of she picks a fair coin is given as 0.5 and probability of B, that is probability that she chooses biased coin, is given as 0.5. Now we have to find the value of P of A given H. So P of A given H we can written as P of H given A into P of A upon P of H given A into P of A plus P of H given B into P of B. This is our Bayes theorem. Now putting the values, P of H given A is given as 0.5 and P of S given at 0.5. So that will be your 0.5 into 0.5 divided by P of H given A is given as 0.5 into P of 5 is 0.5 plus P of H given B is given as 0.4 and P of B is given as 0.5. From here we can write as 0.25 upon 0.25 plus 0.20. That will be your 25 divided by 45. That will be 5 by 9. That is your answer. Next question. Question number 5. Let A and B be two independent events. So A and B are given as independent events of a random experiment. So which of the following is or are always true? So let's check all the options one by one. A option says that probability of A union B is P of A into P of B complement plus P of B. And the information we have is A and B are given as two independent events. And for independent events, P of A intersection B, we know that it's equal to P of A dot P of B. This information is given to us. For proving this, A union B I can write as P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B by the addition rule. This is my addition rule. And I know that P of A intersection is P of A into P of B. So P of A plus P of B minus this I can write as P of A dot P of B. So I can take common P of A from both the terms. I'm taking common P of A from both the terms, then it will be 1, and from here I will get P of B and this term will be P of B. So P1 minus P of B is equal to probability of B complement. So this is P of A into P of B complement plus P of B is already there. So from here P of A union B I got as P of A into P of B complement plus P of B. So this equality will always be true when A and B are given independent events. Option B, P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B. But we have already seen that P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. And this will be true only when P of A intersection B is equal to 0. This is not true because P of A union B is equal to P of A into P of B. So it will be true only if one of these is 0, which is not given to us. So it need not to be true all the time. So P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B is need not to be true. Option B is wrong. Option C, probability of A intersection B given A equal to P of A intersection B. So let's check it. We have to prove P of A intersection B given A equal to P of A intersection B. Let me try to prove it by using left hand side. That is P of A intersection B upon A will be equal to P of A intersection B divided by P of A by the formula of conditional probability. So let me try to find out the value of P of A intersection B. So from the diagram, let's say this is my sample space. This event is A and this event is B. A and B. So A intersection will be my this part. This part will be my A intersection B. This is my A intersection B. And by taking intersection of this part with A, with this part of A, taking intersection with this part will be again A intersection B. So probability of A intersection B will be equal to probability of A intersection B, and this is P of A. But A and B are independent events, so we can write it as P of A into P of B using property of independent events upon P of A. By P of A will be cancelled out, so this will be my P of B. From here we can say that P of A intersection B given A is P of B. That need not to be equal to P of A intersection B. So this equality need not to be true. So option C is wrong. Option C is wrong. Option B, A complement and B complement are independent. So let's try to prove it. So for showing A complement and B complements to independent event, we have to show that probability of A complement intersection B complement are equal to probability of A intersection dot probability of B intersection. If I have shown that, then I can say that A complement and B complements are two independent events. So let's take left hand side. So A complement intersection B complement I can write as A union B complement by using De Morgan's law. So this will be equal to probability of A union B complements, and probability of A union B complement will be equal to 1 minus probability of A union B. Here I can use additional rule which says that P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. If I open the bracket, this will be 1 minus P of A minus P of B plus P of A intersection B. And I know that P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A dot P of B, because A and B are two independent events. So again I can write it as P of A minus P of B plus P of A into P of B using the property of independent events. So here 1 minus P of A, and I can take common minus P of B from both the terms. So that will be my 1 minus P of A. Again I can take common 1 minus P of A from this term and from this term. So 1 minus P of A I take common. So this term will be 1 and this term will be 1 minus P of B. 1 minus P of A I can write as P of A complement, and 1 minus P I can write as P of B complement. So I got that P of A complement intersection B complement equal to P of A complement into P of B complement. So from this I can conclude that A complement and B complements are independent events. So my option D is right. Option D is right. Next question. Question number 6. A target is shot by Anu and Abhishek at the same time. Anu hits the target with probability 0.5 and Abhishek hits the target with probability 0.8. So let me define two events A and B as A I am defining as Anu hits the target. And B I am defining as Abhishek is the target. So here probability of A. So probability of A will denote probability that Anu hits the target is given as 0.5, and probability of B is given as probability of B means that probability that Abhishek hits the target is given as 0.8. So it is known that the target is hit by at least one of them. Then what is the probability that it is hit by Abhishek? So we have to find the probability of B, that is target is hit by Abhishek, but it is known that it is hit by at least one of them. That is given A union B. That is target is hit by either Anu or either Abhishek. So this value I am to find. So by the formula I know that this value will be equal to P of B intersection A union B upon P of A union B, and P of B intersection A union B will be equal to, so let me draw the Venn diagram for it. This is my A, this is my B, this is A, this is B. So A union B will be my the whole area will be my A union B, and by taking intersection with B of the whole I will get this is my A union B the whole area, and this is my B. So by taking intersection of that I get P of B only and upon P of A union B. So finding this value I have to calculate the value of P of A union B, and I am given the values of A and B. Here the point is that the hitting is an independent event, because if the Anu hits the target is independent of Abhishek hits the target. So here I can say that probability of A intersection B will be equal to P of A dot P of B. This is by my independence event, because A doesn't depend on B and B doesn't depend on A. From here I can write P of A union B by the additional rule as P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B, and as I told, P of A intersection B will be equal to P of A into P of B. By putting the values, P of A is given as 0.5 plus 0.8 minus 0.5 into 0.8. So this will be 0.5 plus 0.8 minus 0.4. So this will be equal to 0.9. Probability of A union B will be 0.9. Hence probability of B given A union B will be equal to probability of B, which is 0.8 upon P of A union B, which is I calculated as 0.9. So this will be equal to 8 by 9. So answer will be 8 by 9. D option is correct. That is, if target is hit by at least one of them, then probability that it is hit by Abhishek is equal to 8 by 9. Next, question number 7. In question number 7, bag A contains 2 red and 2 yellow balls, and bag B contains 1 red and 2 yellow balls. A bag is selected randomly and a ball is drawn from that selected bag. Probability of selecting bag A is 1 by 4. What is the probability that the ball drawn is yellow? Here, in probability of selecting bag is given as 1 by 4. So let me define two events E and F as E I'm saying the event of selecting bag A. So probability of E will be, since it is given that probability of selecting bag A is 1 by 4 and my event E is selecting of bag A. So probability of E will be 1 by 4, it is given, and F I am defining as event of selecting bag B. So that will be my P of F will be 3 by 4, since there are only 2 bag and he is selecting one bag randomly, and from that selected bag he is drawing one ball. So what is the probability that drawn ball is yellow? So let me define two events R and by. R is drawn ball is red, and by my event is drawn ball is yellow. So from selected bag a ball is drawn, and R by I am defining as events of drawn ball is red and drawn ball is yellow. So we have to find the probability of P of by that drawn ball is yellow. That we have to calculate. So by using law of total probability, I know that P of by I can write as P of by given E into P of E plus P of Y given F into P of F. That I know by the law of total probability. I have the value of P of E and P of F as 1 by 4 and 3 by 4. So what is the P of Y given E is denoting? It means that when I choose a bag E, then what is the probability that the drawn ball is yellow? So is the event of selecting bag A. So if I choose a bag A, then there are 2 red balls and 2 yellow balls. So if I choose bag A, then probability of drawn ball being yellow will be my 2 divided by total balls in bag A, that is 2 by 4. So P by given A will be my 2 divided by 4 into P of E, I know 1 by 4, plus similarly P of by given F will be my, if first I choose a bag B, because my F is the event of selecting bag B, then if I select the bag B, then what is the probability that the drawn ball is yellow? In the bag B, there are 2 yellow balls and total are 3 balls. So probability of ball being yellow will be my 2 by 3, and P of F I know this is 3 by 4. So that will be my P of by. So this will be my 1 by 8 plus 1 by 2. This will be my 5 by 8. By solving, I will get 0.625. This is my answer. Next question, question number 8. There is a 40% chance that Ajay will go to school today. If Ajay does not go to school, then there is a 15% chance that Prachi, his friend, will go to school. What is the probability that at least one of them will go to school? So define two events A and B as A. I am defining as Ajay will go to school, and B I am defining as Prachi will go to school. Now it is given that there is a 40% chance that Ajay will go to school. That is probability of A. This says that probability of Ajay will go to school is given as 40%. That is 0.40. And it is given if Ajay does not go to school, then there is 15% chance that Prachi, his friend, will go to school. That is, it is conditioning on Ajay. If Ajay doesn't go to school, that is, if A complement, that is, if Ajay doesn't go to school, then probability that B happening that Prachi will go to school will be 15%. That is 0.15. So these two information are given to me, P of A and P of B, given A complement. Now we have to find the probability that at least one of them will go to school, and at least one of them will go to school means I'm to find the value of P of A union B. That is either A go to school, that is either Ajay go to school or Prachi go to school or both go to school. That I am to calculate. So from the law of total probability, I can write as P A union B as P of A union B given A into P of A plus P of A union B given A complement into P of A complement. This I can write by the law of total probability. Now P of A union B given A, I can write as P of A intersection A union B divided by P of A by the formula of conditional probability into P of A plus P of A complement intersection A union B divided by P of A complement into P of A complement. Both P of A will be cancelled out, P A complement will be cancelled out. Then I will left with P of A intersection A union B plus P of A complement intersection A union B. Now let's check what these are by the Venn diagram. Let's say this is my whole sample space. This is A and this is B. So A union B will, this is my A, this is my B, then A union will be my whole area. This whole area will be A union B, this thing. And by taking intersection with A, then A intersection will be A intersection with A union will be my this circle only, that is A. So this is my A. I can write it as a P of A plus this thing. For this thing, let me assume the same. This is my sample space. This is A and this is B. A, B. Now this is my A, then A complement will be my outer part of A will be my A complement. This is my all A complement. And A union B is my this area. So intersection of this will be only this part, outside of A and inside of B. That will be my A complement intersection B. So that will be my A complement intersection B. This I can write as A complement intersection B. Again, but I know the value of P of B given A complement value is given to me as 0.15. So by the conditional formula, I know that this I can write as P of A complement intersection B upon P of A complement. From here, probability of A complement intersection B will be equal to P of B given A complement into P of A complement. So I can write this value as this here. So this will be my equal to P of A plus P of B given A complement into P of A complement. So I have the value of P of A, then I can write value of P of A complement as 1 minus P of A, and I have given the value of P of B given A complement. So by putting all the values, P of A is given as 0.4 plus this is given as 0.15, and this will be my 1 minus 0.4, that will be 0.6. This is 0.4 plus 0.09, so this will be equal to 0.49. So 49% chances are there that at least one of them will go to school, that is P of A union B. This is my answer. Question number 9. In a particular court, it is found that 90% of the guilty suspects are properly judged, while 10% of the guilty suspects are incorrectly found innocent. On the other hand, innocent suspects are misjudged 1% of the time. If the suspect was selected from a group of suspects of which 30% have ever committed a crime, and the judge declared that he is guilty, then what is the probability that he is innocent? So here first let me define the events. Let G is person is guilty. From here I can conclude that G complement will be person is not guilty, or I can say person is innocent. Similarly, define an event D as judge declared the suspect guilty. Then my event D complement will be judge declared the suspect innocent. So these are my two events G and D. Now, what is given to us? It is saying that in a particular court, it is found that 90% of the guilty suspects are properly judged, means that a person is guilty and the judge declared him guilty. That is, the person is guilty and judge declared him guilty. That is, probability of D given G is given as 0.9. And 10% of the guilty suspects are incorrectly found innocent. That is, judge declared him innocent. That is D complement, but he is guilty. That is, probability of D complement given G is given as 0.1. Next, on the other hand, innocent suspect are misjudged 1% of the time. That is, judge declared him guilty, but he is innocent. That is G complement. If he is innocent but judge declared him guilty, is given as 1%. That is 0.01. Also, we are given that a person is selected from which 30% have ever committed a crime. That is, the person is guilty. The probability that person is guilty is given as 0.35. Now I am to calculate that from that group, if person is selected and he is declared as guilty, so what is the probability that he is innocent? So we have to find that what is the probability that he is innocent, that is G complement, but judge declared him is guilty. That value I am to find. So by the Bayes theorem, I can write probability of G complement given D as P of D given G complement, the probability of G complement upon probability of D given G complement into P of G complement plus P of D given G into P of G. All the values are given to us by putting the value of P D given G complement. P D given G complement is 0.01 and P of G is 0.35. So P of D given G complement and 0.01 and P of G complement will be 1 minus P of G, that will be my 0.65 upon same P of D given G complement is 0.01, P of G complement is 0.65. Here P D given G is given as P D given G is 0.9 plus 0.35. By solving it, I will get as 0.02. So P of G complement given D, that is, the person is innocent but judge declared him guilty, is as 0.02. That is my answer. Next, question number 10. In a manufacturing company, there are three machines M1, M2 and M3 make 30%, 45% and 25% of the products. It is known from the past experience that 2%, 3% and 2% of the product made by each machine respectively are defective. So we have to choose the correct options. In option A and B, it is saying that there is a 0.0245 probability that a random selected product is defective, or there is a probability of 0.0456 that the randomly selected product is defective. So let me define the events. M1 as product is made by machine M1. M2, the event that product is made by machine M2, and M3 as product is made by machine M3. And let me define the another event D as the chosen product is defective. In the question, it is saying that 30%, 45% and 25% of the product are made by machine M1, M2 and M3. That is, product is made by M1 is given as 0.3. Probability that product is made by M2 is given as 0.45. Probability that the product is made by machine M3 is given as 0.25. And also it is given that 2%, 3% and 2% of the product made by the machine M1, M2 and M3 are defective. So it means that if the product is made by machine M1, then probably that it is defective. Given that it is made by M1 is given as 2%, that is 0.02. And probability that the product is defective, given that it is made by M2, is given as 0.03. And probability that the chosen product is defective, given that it is made by M3, is given as 0.02. So this information is given to me. Now we are asked what is the probability that the given product is defective. This probability we have to find. By the law of total probability, I can write it as P of D given M1 into probability of M1 plus P D given M2 into probability of M2 plus P D given M3 into probability of M3. This is by law of total probability. So by putting the values, P D given M1 is 0.02, P of M1 is 0.3 plus P D given M2 is 0.03, P of M2 is 0.45 plus P D given M3 is 0.02 plus P of M3 is 0.25. By solving it, I can get P of D is equal to 0.0245. So my first option is correct, B option is wrong. In the option C, if a product was chosen randomly and found to be defective, the probability that it was made by machine M3 is 10 by 49. So let's calculate it. So a product is chosen and it is found to be defective. Now we have to find the probability that it is made by machine M3. So we have to find the probability of M3 given that it is defective piece. This probability I am to find. Now by the base rule, I know that this probability I can write as P of D given M3 into P of M3 divided by P of D given M3 into P of M3 plus P D given M1 into P of M1 plus P D given M2 into P of M2. And this value I have already calculated as P of D, which is 0.025. So this value will be 0.02 into P of M3 is 0.25. And this value I have already calculated at 0.0245. This will be equal to 0.005 divided by 0.0245, or I can write as 50 upon 245. That will be my 10 by 49. So option C is correct. And in the option D, E and F, it is saying that if the product was chosen randomly and found to be defective, then probability it is made by machine is M2 is highest, or M2 is highest, or M3 is highest. So we have already calculated that the probability that it is made by machine M3, given that it is defective, we have already calculated as 10 by 49, or we can say as 50 by 245. Now check for the probability that it is made by M1, given that it is defective. If we look at the formula of both and probability of it is made by M2, given this is a defective piece, if we look at the formulas, then you will see that it is the P of D given M1 into probability of M1, and the denominator will be same as this term. Same. For this formula, this will be probability of D given M2 into probability of M2, and denominator will be same for all three formulas. So the highest value will occur when the numerator is the highest. So let's check the numerator thing, because denominator is the same for all three terms. For M1 it is 0.02 into 0.3, and which is my 0.006. For M2 it is 0.03 into 0.45, which is equal to 0.0135, and for M3 it is 0.02 into 0.25, which is equal to 0.005. So it is the highest for M2. So option E is the correct, and D and F are wrong.